Let's get right into this review for Snow White. Alright, so Snow White is directed by Mark Webb, whose past work I'm also familiar with since he directed the Amazing Spider-Man film with Andrew Garfield in it. And to get into the main question, what did I think about the cinematic package here? I found this entire experience to be a mixed bag for sure. I think the setup in Act 1 before getting into the heart of the drama was pretty darn solid for the most part. Acts 2 and 3 is where the entire experience started to fall off for me narrative-wise, as a lot of the plot was incredibly loose and C-tier at best. Like, I assure you, if the Wicked Queen wasn't so PG about her cruelty and hatred towards Snow White, there are plenty of moments within the story where she could have gotten rid of Snow White and her band of misfits for good. Also, the pacing definitely felt horrendous during certain moments. Majority of the sequences in Acts 2 and 3 had plenty of pivotal moments that felt incredibly rushed to the point that it came off unnatural. That's because a lot of these rushed segments had coincidental moments one after another to then trigger the next following set of events, almost as if the story wanted to reach the finish line as soon as possible. And even though it's been a while since I've seen the original animated Snow White film, I don't remember the plot being this unbalanced. I'm pretty sure the transition from animation to live action doesn't do a lot of good for telling the Snow White tale. As for the acting, I thought it was just okay. There weren't any actors or actresses in this film that I thought shined bright. Sure, many of them had some pretty fun musical segments with great singing talent, but in terms of the character impact when it came to the drama, I found it to be lacking any sort of real emotional depth and punch to it. So I never found myself getting attached with any of the story beats, even during the more climactic moments. When it comes to the classic themes surrounding hope and kindness, or even about finding beauty within rather than out, these were all definitely present within this live-action retelling of this tale. But just as my point about the acting, none of these themes had any depth to them. Sure, these themes were still present within the core of its narrative storytelling, but I haven't found myself resonating with these thematic elements on a deeper level. And that's really sort of my issue with many of the aspects in this film. Much of the cinematic package here feels surface level bare bones and incomplete with its execution. I even had mixed feelings about the CGI dwarves. This fusion of CGI and live action characters just didn't do it for me. Sure, I got used to it eventually towards the latter half of Act 2, but that fusion initially felt bizarre in a negative way, and it even had me pondering if there really had to be a live-action adaptation. As for a few more positives though, I did like the cinematography. I thought many of the visual scenes came through loud and clear, and undoubtedly the special effects and CGI here were definitely high quality. So props to the production team behind the set, but with everything considered, my final score for Snow White ends up being 5.5 out of 10. It's definitely still a watchable film. Most of the younger and newer fans might have fun with this one, and this could be a decent family night out, but I think if you love the original or have the ability to critique films on a deeper level, there for sure isn't a whole lot that this live action gets right. And if you initially thought this film was already going to suck, I don't think your opinions will change in the slightest after viewing the film. To me, this was a barely passable one-time watch film experience. Anyways, that's it for my review. Thanks for checking this out. I'll have more coming soon, so stay tuned, and I shall see you on my next upload. Until then, peace.